We bring in our NFL insider, Ralph Vacchiano. And Ralph, let's talk about JPP. You know, last month at this time, they were so far apart. JPP said he wanted to remain a Giant. The Giants wanted to keep him. They actually came together. Were you surprised that they came together?
I am a little bit. Not that they came together in general, because we always knew that both sides wanted to get a deal done, so eventually they were going to get one. But the fact that they couldn't do it before free agency started made me think that it was going to go deep into the free agent signing period. But the fact is the Giants were down to about $3 million in cap room. They needed a backup quarterback, a kicker, offensive lineman. They needed to do something, and when you get to a deadline and you have to do something, that's when things suddenly somehow get done.
Did he deserve that money?
Well, yeah, I think he did. I mean, the money's all relative, and people will say, well, is he worth $62 million? You know, he's not the same player he was back in 2011, but that's the going rate for a premier pass rusher. He is a premier pass rusher, and honestly, when you look at the rest of the market, there was nobody better out there.
All right, let's talk about that backup quarterback that you said the Giants needed. A former Jet, Geno Smith, is expected to sign as the Giants, obviously backup quarterback on Monday. How surprised are you? Because Geno always said he wanted to compete for that #1 spot.
Right, and
he's not competing for that #1 spot.
Exactly, and if he thinks he's still a starter, he went to the worst possible place to go to, because obviously Eli Manning hasn't missed a start since he became a starter back in 2004. That's why I'm surprised. I really thought he was going to go someplace where at least he'd have a chance to compete. From the Giants' perspective, it does make some sense, though, because they have an experienced backup. They've taken a really no-risk chance on a guy who was once a second-round pick, so there's some talent there. If it doesn't work out for them, big deal, they let him go. But for Geno Smith, really all he has to do, all he can get out of this, is sit behind Eli Manning and learn, and it's not really a fresh start for him because he's still in New York.
All right, real quick, let's talk about the Jets, because they're looking for a veteran quarterback. Josh McCown's in town. What do you think of this?
Well, I think that Josh McCown right now is much like Jay Cutler if they decided to bring him in, and they're both much like Ryan Fitzpatrick from a couple of years ago. They are stopgap measures. They're not the answer for who's the long-term future of this franchise. They're basically the bridge to whoever that is, whether it's Christian Hackenberg or Bryce Petty, we'll see. But it's a short-term, not a long-term answer.
All right. Well, I guess the Jets are seeing green.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Coincidence.
Thanks, Ralph.
You're welcome.